Now, in this leading story, Vhembe District Municipality Mayor Florence Radzilani will respond to claims implicating her in the VBS Mutual Bank scandal. Now, she allegedly received a bribe, or as it's noted in that report, a Christmas to ensure her municipality banked with VBS. Radzilani reportedly complained that a 300,000 rand Christmas was too little at the time. Now, ENCA Zikona Chona is tracking that story for us, and she joins us now live. Zikona, it will certainly be very interesting to see how the mayor responds to what really is a very detailed part of that Great Bank heist report, which actually details in WhatsApp messages how the mayor had cried about that too little 300,000 rand Christmas.
And in those same WhatsApp messages, Michelle, she's actually being applauded for keeping her promise in keeping the investments of this municipality with VBS Mutual Bank for about 3 months. In another text message between a gentleman known as Matsepe, who we understand is the middleman between municipalities and executives of this bank, and Matsepe also says that the mayor has indeed kept her promise and has also taken the finances of this municipality, the investments under her office, to ensure that she has the executives of VBS's bank in ensuring that money is kept at this bank. We have just recently been informed that the press briefing has been postponed, rather. They're saying that all the mayors that are implicated in this report have been called to a meeting with ANC leaders. So we are still waiting as to exact time as to when that press briefing will get underway. What I can mention, though, is that I have received voice recordings of what appears to be the mayor's voice speaking at a church gathering this past Sunday, and she outrightly denies any involvement with VBS Mutual Bank in that church service, saying that she is not a financial officer in this municipality. She would not have had any dealings with the bank. So it will be very interesting to hear as to what she will have to say with regards to her name being implicated in this report. She's also one of those that has come to say that she was not called to be interviewed by the Reserve Bank in its investigation into the dealings of this municipality with the bank. So certainly we're looking forward to what she will have to say to the media. As I've mentioned, I've received recordings as to what appears to be her voice, but the person who sent them to me could not be certain, but it does appear to be her voice. We do know that she is a church member of one of the popular churches here. She's in fact married to a pastor, so she does attend church very regularly.
Zikona, just for our viewers who have printed out a copy of the Great Bank heist reports into VBS, those transcriptions of those WhatsApp messages are around page 45. Zikona, in that same sort of excerpt from the report, it's interesting to see just how these municipalities had been battling at the time. We see municipalities withdrawing a few million here and there just so they could pay salaries at the end of the year.
The report clearly states out that municipalities would invest with this bank, and it did not come cheap. So those people who ensured that municipalities were indeed putting money in VBS Bank, the officials who are in charge of that process would then get payments from the bank executive as a thank you fee, as a bribe to say, keep doing what you're doing, because we do want the funds of the municipality kept with this bank. There are repeated sentences in this report where it says that there are officials who are saying that the money that they are getting is not enough. There is a formula that is spoken of here that if someone gives a certain amount, then they get a certain percentage of that amount given back to them. So certainly municipalities who were investing money, and I put that in inverted commas because as we can see now, they truly were not investing anything in this bank. So a municipality municipalities were investing money in this bank, those officials who were in charge of that knew that they would be getting money back to their pockets for doing what they were doing. So certainly it will be very interesting to see what the mayor of this municipality will have to say with regards to that fact that her name is implicated in this report. But also what I can mention is that during my time here, I have managed to speak to a former employee of one of the branches of VBS Mutual Bank who said that at their branch, they were forced to backdate transactions from municipalities. So money that was deposited by municipalities would be backdated by a few months so that the bank would be able to make more money. She also mentions the fact that municipalities would bring millions into this bank and they were forced to keep quiet even though they knew what they were doing was wrong. There was no room to speak. There was no room to challenge any managers who would say, who would instruct them to process these accounts. What I'm gathering from the Vhembe municipality is that there's an amount of 50 million rand and an amount of 20 million rand that they had invested with VBS Mutual Bank, but they did withdraw the money at a certain stage. But there's also a text message saying here, let's pay her some money so that we can ensure that she does reinvest this 50 million rand that they did withdraw back to the bank. So certainly very deliberate and very careless corruption and fraud taking place on the part of the officials, the executives of this bank in the dealings with the municipalities.
Yeah, so we were hoping, of course, to hear from the Vhembe District Municipality Mayor, Florence Radzilani, as we are looking to hear from all of those implicated in this report. Sikona, just tell us again before you go, who told us that this briefing by the mayor had been postponed? Who is communicating that information to us? And do we know whether we will hear from her today?
So we received a call yesterday to say that the mayor would hold a press briefing today at 10 a.m. This morning, when I called to double check the time, the PA of the mayor informed me that the mayor has been instructed to go to attend a meeting with other ANC officials and other municipalities that have been implicated or listed in this report, and that meeting seems to be quite urgent. And only after that meeting will they then set a time as to when this press briefing will take place. We were expecting it to take place at around 10 a.m. this morning. I did ask if we can get the mayor prior to her attending that meeting, and I was simply told no, she has to attend that meeting first. It is urgent and it will kind of inform how she addresses the press later on today. So we don't have the time as to when the press briefing will take place, but we have been reassured that it will indeed be today.
All right. Well, thanks very much for that. Sikona Chona live to us there ahead of that press briefing meant to take place at 10 o'clock this morning.